Merry Christmas. Okay, enough of that. Time to do a review. I feel like I might be getting a little behind on my reviews, so this time around I'm going to do 2 reviews. First one, MoH H2. Yet another World War II first-person shooter. I guess we could probably expect a lot of these to land on the Wii. Am I the first one to make that joke? Anyway, this one's just a little bit different, and you know what? It's not all that bad. Let's go shoot some Nazis.
Sounds like a survival horror game. There have been a lot of Medal of Honor games, and I expect by now they're probably running out of ideas. There's no film strip intro, and the back of the box doesn't provide any information. So yeah, you're an American soldier, and Hitler's a very, very bad man, and you gotta stop whatever he's about to do. That seems to be the plot of a majority of Medal of Honor games, which gives you a good enough excuse to shoot other people. MoH H2 was made for the Wii and PlayStation Portable. I think that's kind of an odd combination, but I guess they have similar graphical capabilities. On the same subject as graphics, the game doesn't do anything special beyond perhaps blurred vision when something explodes next to you. There's no blood in the game, but that's okay, because this is set in the 1940s. Blood wasn't invented yet. Once I got over what seemed like generic World War II missions, not that I really know, I began to have a lot of fun, and that's mainly attributed to the controls. The Wii Zapper really brings the experience together. My aim was steady and true, plus leaning and zooming at the same time was just straight up awesome. For better and for worse, telling the game that you have the Wii Zapper constrains your controls. I say, even if you don't have the Wii Zapper, tell the game you have one, so you don't have to deal with the crummy default controls for sniping, frustration, manually pumping the shotgun, tiring, and whatever this is. What's wrong with shooting at where I point? Throwing a grenade is easy regardless of control scheme, but you will have to miss out on firing a bazooka by putting the Wiimote over your shoulder. Genius. Some things seem kind of amiss in this game. I mean, you can almost smell the scripting. Okay, as soon as I fire this cannon, Adolf Hitler's gonna summon a billion Nazis to come bum rush me. Or having a mission objective called Survive This Ambush. Seems kind of redundant. Surviving's already your primary mission objective. And strapping explosives to a 1 megaton warhead doesn't seem very, I don't know, intelligent? I expected the explosion to be bigger.
You're right, Lieutenant. There would have been a bigger explosion if that rocket had a warhead in it.
A lot of the gameplay is stop and pop, so it's like Gears of War, minus the aliens, chainsaw, and models that load without textures. Jeez, what were they thinking? You can also play in arcade mode. It's the exact same missions except for you're on rails, so all you have to do is point, shoot, and reload. It's a lot of fun, but I just can't shake the feeling that I'm shooting at ducks.
Oh, I'm sorry. German ducks.
Quackheimen. Quackschnitzel. Also in the game is 32-person multiplayer, which doesn't mean 32 Wiimotes and 32 people on one screen at once, although I would like to see that. It's 32-player online, so I guess this qualifies as Nintendo's first online FPS. So, yeah, you can have 32 players on at once, but it's not Halo 3. I sucked pretty badly even without Miguel's intervention. To play online, you had to create an EA Nation account, which I guess is EA's answer to friend codes, and a subliminary message about how they're going to take over the world. Despite other reviewers' warnings, I decided to check out Vanguard, and I tell ya, Heroes 2 is way better, even though Vanguard has better AI, non-magical soldiers, and every level isn't gray.
First-person shooters can lend themselves easily to the Wii with this pointer functionality, but we still haven't had a stellar FPS for the Wii. Red Steel was hard to get used to. Usually when I play, I spend most of my time shooting around the person that I'm trying to shoot. Far Cry Vengeance was a terrible game, but at least the shooter functionality worked and it didn't look like you had too much coffee while playing. Okay, next review. Let's get one thing straight. RETUC is not a compilation. It does contain Resident Evil 0, 1, and 3, but reworked to fit a light gun format. Does the format work for the game? Not really. But at the very least, it's an okay addition into the Resident Evil library. It's not as bad as Resident Evil Survivor.
Sounds like a survival horror game. The plot of RETUC is just the plot of the RE games within it. The gameplay, however, is much different. I trust that you already know that Umbrella is the corporation responsible for the T and G virus, and when some serious shizzle hits the fan, well, that's how we get the Resident Evil games. Let's just start from the beginning. In Resident Evil 0, you play as Rebecca Chambers, STAR's Bravo team member. Their helicopter crashes, and then she goes to investigate a nearby train, and then she encounters Billy Cohen, ex-Marine, and they have to fight off a train full of T-virus-infected zombies. I tried comparing graphics to the GameCube version, but then I realized you can't really compare them. A lot of the original was pre-rendered. The like and style of fighting clashes with what was the Resident Evil suspense, and puzzle solving has been traded in for quick reflexes.
Nah, this is just ridiculous.
Don't play this game with a Wii Zapper. It'll just end in tears. In Resident Evil, you play as Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine of STAR's Alpha team, and you're investigating the helicopter crash of STAR's Bravo team. Then you get chased into a mansion full of T-virus-infected zombies. Yeah, where's Barry? I thought he was pretty important to the Resident Evil plot. I guess for this game, they just threw him away. Once I started playing this Resident Evil, I decided that a like a Resident Evil will never hold up to the originals, so I accepted it for what it was, and had fun with it. Still can't shake the feeling that I'm shooting ducks. In Resident Evil 3...
Didn't get that far. See, I've never actually played Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, so it might be best that I don't play this section. And plus, I got to the part of Resident Evil 1 where you fight spiders, and spiders scare the crap out of me. See, in previous games, they were at a distance and you're shooting at them from odd angles. In this one, they're looking at me and puking in my face. I can't do it! You might be saying that I'm failing you as a reviewer, and I say, screw you! I'm not fighting these guys unless I have somebody else in the room.
The true appeal of this game are the levels in which you get to play as Wesker and see his involvement in screwing everybody over in the name of Umbrella. Golly, I wish I had that hair. The first time I played a Resident Evil game, I didn't know what to classify it because its controls were all wacky. It certainly wasn't a first-person shooter, but still it'd be incorrect to call it a third-person shooter. So with my knowledge of literature, I took it upon myself to classify it as a second-person shooter. Then somebody had the audacity to say that a true second-person shooter would be a game in which you control the enemies. I don't talk to that person anymore. But I dig this like in action. Pointing to where you want to shoot is just great, and that's why Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition is the best Resident Evil ever, ever, ever.
I'd recommend RUTUC only to pre-existing fans of the franchise. And if you want to get the gist of the games, just play the games. Afterward, you can get the backstory. And don't get the wrong idea, this is sparkling cider. I think I have time for one more review.
Ninja Bread Man. It sucks. This has been Storm for Wii TV.